Business Matters starts now.
Hey, good evening, Business Matters. Brand spanking new season. I had hoped to come back thinner this year, but hey, not everything works out the way you planned, for God's sake. But anyway, we're back. We're new season. We're excited. And I know another guy that's excited, Dalen Leach. I never thought I'd see the day that this medical marijuana bill would get passed. And are you surprised? And I know you're happy about that. Talk about that a little bit, if you could.
Well, when I introduced the bill, I couldn't get a co-sponsor. It took a
How long
long
ago
time.
was that?
About 5 years ago.
Okay.
But through hard work, we were able to do something that never happens in Harrisburg. We were able to change minds. And the way we were able to do it is the simple fact is that this is the sort of issue that transcends Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. Anyone can get sick. Anyone could have someone they care about get sick. And if that happens, all you want is for them to get better. And there are so many compelling stories and studies and so forth that show how medical marijuana has made a huge difference in people's lives, been a lifesaver in many cases. And so once people understood the evidence and understood exactly what we were talking about, the opposition largely melted away. We passed it overwhelmingly in both the House and the Senate. Governor signed it April 17th, and there'll be dispensaries opening up in the next year.
What was the sea change? Again, you couldn't even get anybody to sign on. Nobody wanted to touch it.
Well, it was controversial. People in the legislature are not looking for controversy. I have a weird genetic mutation where I love controversy.
Exactly.
Really, it took literally sitting down in the office with senators one by one for hours at a time, sometimes going through everything and overcoming their concerns.
For people that say that medical marijuana bill is in essence, the Trojan horse, that next we're going to go legalize marijuana like some other states, is that something that you're interested in?
Well, yeah, and we will. I mean, prohibition is unsustainable for a variety of reasons. This year, we're going to have 5 or 6 more states through referendum legalize even recreational marijuana. Pennsylvania will take longer because we don't have a referendum provision.
Has that been an economic windfall for those states?
Huge, for Colorado, for Washington.
All right, so Pastor Rivera, and maybe on this side also, Jeff, you guys maybe see a different universe. You've seen people with addiction. Go ahead, Pastor.
Absolutely. I started at about 11. And
when you say started the use of marijuana?
I started using pot.
Okay.
It screwed up all my education. I dropped out of the 8th grade, started taking drugs. It was my gateway drug. From there, I went to heroin. I've now been 33 years clean. I'm 60 years old, but it destroyed my complete youth. I don't remember a teacher. I don't remember anything. Scared, paranoid, fear, everything. I can't imagine them calling it medical marijuana.
So you don't even buy in the medical side of this. Real quickly, Jeff, your thoughts on this?
I'm ashamed.
You're very
Mine is the same as the pastor's. It was a gateway drug for me, which led me to crack cocaine. And I had no motivation while I smoked pot. Until I got sober, I didn't care for anything but doing more pot.
Do you believe there are legitimate medical uses for this, though, I guess is the question, given what you see?
Probably.
Probably.
But for me, I would look for an alternative if.
Are you saying that, yes, there are, but this might also be, again, the entree, the excuse to get high?
For some, sure.
All right, but there's a little misconception there. But real quickly, Steve, I'm going to let you jump in here from the legal side. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the stories of addiction are heartbreaking. But at the same time, under a medical marijuana law, the gatekeeper is the physician.
Okay.
And under the Pennsylvania law, the physician's credentialed. There's protections to make sure that the physician does not have a financial interest in the prescription.
Okay.
All he can bill for is an exam. And these are limited to very serious medical conditions.
And again, the form that is being, it's not smoked first and foremost. I think people have a misnomer.
It will be smoked.
Oh, it can be even the medical side?
Well, it's called vaped.
Okay, vaped.
But it's a form of smoking.
All right,
yes.
all right. Will people? Are some of the byproducts taken out of this on the medical side, or they don't eliminates quote unquote the high?
No, I
mean,
in
so
some,
you can go buy weed for lack of a better term.
In some strains. And for some conditions, like for example, for epilepsy, there's an oil that's put under the tongue. It's non-intoxicating.
And it has shown results.
Oh yeah, huge results. It's been a lifesaver. Anyone who wants to see something amazing, go Google Charlotte's Web, Sanjay Gupta. There's a whole story on CNN about how it saved this girl's life and many other people, including people I know, with epilepsy. But on the other hand, for example, post-traumatic stress disorder and nausea from cancer, the best delivery system for those is smoking. And when you say get high, you know, if you don't want people to take a drug that will help them because they may get some sort of high from it, well, then you have to ban all of the opioids, Oxycontin, Percocet, and many other things as well as alcohol. I mean, you know, and if I can just comment on the addiction thing really quickly, I feel sorry for people who had a bad experience. People have bad experiences with alcohol too. Many more people do than with marijuana. We don't put people in cages and separate them from their family for drinking alcohol. We shouldn't do that for marijuana either. It's not a criminal justice issue. It's a addiction. Marijuana is not addictive, but it is an issue in terms of people being able to.
All right, we got the
get
rest of the show. We got the rest of the show.
Gotcha.
All right, stay with us, Business Matters. We're talking about marijuana, its use, its future. Be right back.
You're watching Business Matters, because if it's business, it matters. Want to enjoy the show on the go? Subscribe to our podcast. Go to www.wfmz.com/Business Matters for more information. Now, back to Tony Iannelli.
Hey, we are back. Business Matters. And look, this is a very serious topic. Obviously, we talked about, you heard in the beginning of the show, the medical issues and the relief it can bring. We heard on this side, and Pastor, again, I don't think that anyone convinced you, Pastor Rivera, that this is the Trojan horse to increase marijuana usage, which will increase drug usage.
I believe it's exactly what it is. I know that I read in Colorado that a young man, he was 19, and he ate it in some cookies, in karma candy, they call it. And so that takes a little while. It took him about an hour, and then he leaped off of the roof because he was paranoid. He was scared. And, you know, it has all these side effects to it. So if you smoke it, it just takes 7 seconds to get to you. I want you to imagine all the drunk drivers, all the people, all the accidents, all the children, all the broken families. This is just the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg.
At a certain point, you have to actually rely on studies and evidence. Frankly, when marijuana is legalized, crime goes down.
A study right
DUIs, but that's an anecdote. That's not a study. All right, a study is involving thousands of people in science and actually gathering data.
So you are saying that
I can't speak to the pastor's individual case.
I've been doing it for 25 years. I have 2 halfway houses.
What I'm saying is the crime rate goes down. You know what else goes down? There's again, Googled opioid addiction, marijuana. CNN report 25% lower rate of opioid addiction and deaths in states with medical marijuana because people use that instead of the horrible drugs that we prescribe people instead. And in Pennsylvania, what that would translate to is 500 lives saved a year.
I need to challenge that.
Pastor, but I guess what he's saying is that people will take other painkillers and so on.
They'll self-medicate.
They'll
self-medicate.
Not self-medicate. The doctor prescribes OxyContin.
Right.
That's not
and you're saying, in
self-medicating.
your mind, far more dangerous than...
Not only my mind, that's actually scientific fact.
I want to show you something. What's going to happen is this. That's going to open the gate. And when that gate opens, then they're going to find out that they have to spray with some THC or something like that and make it better, make it more potent.
So they want to go to the next...
And then is where all the paranoia, all the violence comes in and everything else, and the addiction, and all the psychosis. And these are the things that, like, I'm amazed at how a bill can be passed for something like this, and we can't educate our children.
Ultimately,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I mean, ultimately, the drug's not prescribed, but ultimately, the dispensing of the drug, the manufacturing of the drug,
there will be competition. There will be competition.
No, but ultimately, what I'm saying
monitor.
is that's monitored by the Department of Health. There are standards that are going to be put in place. There are regulations that are put in place. And ultimately, the doctor has a continuing duty of care to that patient and the duty to the Department of Health to notify them if the drug is ultimately not necessary.
Jeffrey Poach, I know you're obviously a quiet guy. Your thoughts on what's happening today?
I can talk on the fact that I work at Safe Harbor. Me and Dan work at Safe Harbor. And the one common denominator with all these guys that are homeless is marijuana.
So you're saying, again, that was the entree.
Correct.
Not alcohol, not, that doesn't, because I think Dalen's point is if it's not marijuana, it's going to be alcohol or something else. Is that what you're...
Are you calling for banning alcohol? Do you want to reinstate prohibition?
No, I'm not calling
Why
for
not?
banning alcohol. I'm not calling
Why not?
for
Alcohol is
banning
far worse.
marijuana.
All right, well, I think that pastor
I don't
is.
know the effects.
In time, it's going to be just as bad.
And I agree.
It can't. First of all, alcohol, there's so many differences. Alcohol is addictive, marijuana is not, number one. Number two, alcohol has a lethal dose.
I'm so sorry. Who told you marijuana is not addictive?
All of the studies, Harvard, Yale.
Try it.
I've tried it.
You have tried
once
it.
or twice. And you know what?
Wait,
I did not become addictive.
Yeah.
And
So
I
your pipe has sex.
Dalen,
I did not fall off a roof.
excuse me.
You will.
You did say you stopped it twice. Is that correct?
Yeah, I tried I think twice. But anyway, the point is that there is no lethal dose for marijuana. There is a lethal dose for alcohol.
Yes, there is.
And marijuana is a medicinal thing that helps so many people. And again, anecdotes do not equal scientific studies. There are 25 states now that have, the majority of the country lives under a regime of legal medical marijuana.
Okay.
None of what the pastor has said has happened anywhere.
So someone had said to me, I heard for the third time now, boy, if you go to Colorado, there's young people, you know, stoners.
Well, Colorado's
land.
recreational, but
Okay.
and
All right,
that's
but
not even true because I've been to Colorado.
Okay.
But medically, there are 25 states with medical marijuana. There has not been this huge rush and spray. I don't even know what this. It sounds like a conspiracy theory, spraying it with THC.
No, listen, it's not I did it. I did it.
You did. You ran a medical marijuana program?
35 years ago, I did it.
You ran
I
a
did it in
medical
North
marijuana
Philadelphia.
program?
You cop marijuana. If it's too green, it's not up to par. You spray it with
Yeah, but that's
THC
not-
out of a
that's
spray
not-
bottle,
that's not
and
what's
you sell
happening.
it. It's the greatest thing.
That's
it
what prohibition
destroys
is.
lives.
That's
it
what
destroys
prohibition
lives.
does. Prohibition makes people do things like that. When you have a, you know, in the old days, let's look at prohibition with alcohol because it's exactly
go
the
on.
same. People used to die from alcohol because they would drink it made during prohibition because they would drink stuff made out of in a dude's bathtub in his backyard.
Gotcha.
Now you go into a store in a strip mall, you buy a bottle of Grey Goose, you know what you're getting, nothing's added to it.
Are you
and,
saying
and
that
it's much safer?
when you get back to never mind medical, when we get to when you're talking to thoughts of going to the next phase, legalizing marijuana, that will take it out of the back streets, for lack of a better term, and will improve.
It'll be regulated, it'll be tested, it'll be labeled. We won't have a black market, which is what causes things like that to happen. And we won't take, you know, in Pennsylvania, 25,000 law-abiding kids a year, put them into a criminal justice system for the rest of their life. They can never work in a school, they can never work in a hospital. They're always going to have to check the box when it says, have you been convicted of a crime?
Right.
We destroy lives because people smoke a plant that makes them feel giddy.
Anybody
It's
want to talk about that? Because we got to
insane.
go to commercial. Quick shot on that, anybody?
It just makes you feel giddy, but it stops your learning curve. It stops you from thinking.
Didn't do that to me.
all
I was
this-
top of my class.
I love the whole anecdotal thing.
Well, the difference between that
I love
is
that.
some have an addictive personality
Yeah.
and
So,
some
How
don't.
long have you been a pothead, Senator?
In order to
I'm
exist
not a
in the world, there's
pothead.
doctor overseeing that.
I'm not a pothead.
How
I've
is the
smoked
doctor gonna
marijuana in
do
my
it?
life.
Deter that?
Stay with us,
How is
Business
it-
Matters. We're going to be right back. By the way, we're going to have Tim Charles and Joan Halucha. We'll be right back. There they are with Michelle. Look at Michelle hanging out with them over there. Be right back. Business Matters.
You're watching Business Matters because if it's business, it matters. Want to voice your thoughts on this week's topic or guests? Sound off on social media. Use the hashtag BusinessMattersTV. That's hashtag BusinessMattersTV. Now, back to Business Matters.
Hey, we are back. Hey, and I want to tell you, if you're a good clapper or woo-hooer, we're looking for you on this show. Michelle's in charge of. Michelle, you're in charge of that. Michelle is a great panel, and again, Dalen, he's pushing. I know you have a couple questions, but go. I'll let you go ahead. You go ahead. Do your thing.
Well, should we introduce our new folks that we just brought on quickly, just so that people understand? Joan is here because she has had experiences with this and wants to talk about it from that.
Okay.
And Tim is coming from the entrepreneurial end.
Good. I'm glad we did.
So
those
my
introductions.
question, I just kind of have thought that out.
very needed.
My question is, as a business organization, we are always interested in entrepreneurial opportunities. So I am questioning for potential members out there how it all works with how to get a license, which is what Tim's trying to do.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's a big step to take every day. The protocol, the requirements to get accepted it's outrageous. It's phenomenal. It's the security protocols.
So how many licenses are going to be issued?
There's
You know?
going to be 50 dispensary
How many do you think
licenses.
people will apply?
You can get 3
800.
stores per dispensary. So there'll be 150 stores, and there'll be 25 growing licenses.
Oh, okay. So you got growing and distribution, two
Growing
different
processing,
things.
yeah.
Growing processing, and then distribution.
Right, and within the next 3 or 4 months, those licenses applications will be promulgated and people will start filling them out. There's an incredible demand. As Tim noted, it's going to be very competitive.
All right. So what will the choice be made? Who makes that choice?
Well, there's a board that makes the choice, and what we're doing, we're drafting regulations now, and it's going to be a point system, and there's going to be different silos that you can get points based on your security or financial
So you're
plan.
going to look
blah,
for
blah,
the.
blah.
Your point is you're going to look for the best companies you can find.
We're
to
going to
do
look for
this.
the best companies
All
that
right.
have the best chance of making it
Joan,
go.
today, and I'll go to you, Michelle, in a second. But did anybody change your mind?
No, and I just want to say, Senator, for you to make a comment about understanding addiction, that you used it twice and you didn't become addicted, there's...
I didn't use it twice.
No, we were kidding about that. He
I
used
used it hundreds of times.
That was we were.
Well, make up your mind, you know what I mean?
No, that was me.
I thought you
that
could
was me.
sense sarcasm,
I was
but,
messing with a sarcasm. But anyway, go ahead. You're feeling that he's
look,
making
And I was at
making
top
light
of my
of.
class in college and law school.
Look, you know what? Look. Last week I was at a service up in Bethlehem to honor Overdose Awareness Day. And I can tell you that I've been working in the field of addiction for 35 years, and I used for 25 years before that. So I have a lot of experience and experience
Was
with
marijuana
families.
your gateway?
Marijuana wasn't my gateway because by the when I started using, marijuana was not the drug of choice at that time. Mostly was available was alcohol.
Okay.
And then and then came marijuana.
Does that in fact affirm what he's saying though, that if you have an addictive personality, you're going to find something to be your gateway?
Well, that's a good possibility, but the fact is that there are a lot of addicted personalities.
Yes.
And, and making marijuana available is going, that's who's going to use it.
Would you ban alcohol? Would you go back to prohibition? Would you make alcohol illegal in America?
No, I would.
Why not?
I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go back to prohibition. But you do have to admit how many DUIs that we get in this state, and how many people are affected by that. So what makes you think that that's not going to be the same problem with marijuana?
Well, you would punish, but see, this is the thing.
So
First
that,
of all,
prohibition,
I'll tell you, asked me a question.
prohibition is basically a useless statement because we're not talking about going back.
Absolutely. That horse has left the barn.
But it doesn't make sense to treat people who smoke marijuana worse than you treat people who drink alcohol when it's a more benign drug.
Well, who said we treat people worse?
I do, because what we do is we make them criminals.
Mm-hmm.
We put them in jail.
We
ruin their lives.
You make a person a criminal when they do a criminal act.
Smoking marijuana is a criminal act in many places in Pennsylvania now.
Well, it is, and I think that it should be more of a treatment place. But the fact
agree.
is, the more available, that you make it. I mean, who's going to make money off of
Joan,
it?
so again, you're not even for the medical side. You're still you've got red flags with that.
I have red flags with it. I'm
Okay.
not totally against medical, but I know medical becomes
So you're
out
on
of
the fence.
control.
You're on the fence?
With medical.
Yes, with medical.
Not with medical.
All right.
I'm on the fence.
Just make sure, Pastor Rivera, because I know your personality. You can see
He's
you're holding
dying.
something in.
He's ready.
We haven't. Have you moved at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Listen to me. I'm not an antidote, and I've seen lives. I run 2 treatment houses now in Allentown, and I've seen this for 30 years. It does not get good.
Correct.
People in the families does not get good. Families are destroyed. Marriages are destroyed. Children are abandoned. People lose their education, their life, everything over this. This is opening the barn door to something, and I got to tell you, Senator, it just nothing in America surprises me now. Nothing is surprising me anymore. Senators
I just want to say something. I just want to say something. Every kid that I've treated, and I've treated them for 11 years now, their gateway drug was marijuana.
First of all, again, the science
I'm just
doesn't
telling
support
you.
that. The way
I don't
the way,
science. I'm talking about experience.
Science matters.
Experience,
Can I
not
just,
science.
Can I explain this?
Okay, yeah, please,
First
go
of
ahead.
all, the way of telling if marijuana is a gateway drug, which it's not, is not to say how many people
You know
who are
what?
heroin have tried marijuana.
I think that's insulting to do this kind of a thing.
Can I finish my sentence? I let you talk.
No, because you're
I'm
you're
gonna finish
talking
it
about
anyway.
science,
I'm
and
gonna
I'm
finish
talking
it
about
anyway.
experience.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
So-
You're emotionally. Go ahead.
Anecdotal experience is not what we make public policy on. We make it on science. And
Okay.
the fact is that the way to test whether marijuana is a gateway to other drugs is not to see if people have smoked marijuana before they did heroin. People drank milk before they did heroin. That's not a. You look
Milk
at how
is
many
not a
people.
problem.
You look at how many people who smoke marijuana go on to use heroin. That's how you look at it. 94% of people who smoke marijuana never use harder drugs.
How many
That's
people?
not
How many
true.
addicts do you
That is
deal
true.
with?
That's not
Look,
true.
it's absolutely true.
I've been in
What's
this-
your source?
I've been in this field for 25
So it's personal
years.
anecdote. is your
35
source.
years.
No,
How
I've
many
been in this
addicts do you
field for
deal with?
25 years.
Well, because of my, I'll tell you what, because of
You
my.
mean you look at research?
Well, you asked me a
Medical
question.
marijuana is here to stay.
can I-
It's
See, because of your
evolution. We
addiction,
evolved to
go
this
on,
point.
Senator.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because you asked me a question,
Galen.
I thought I'd
Let
answer.
him go.
Well,
You're
not without
calling
the
names to
insults.
show that you have
Hang
a
on.
lack of intellect.
I'm so
okay?
sorry. I guess I'm Trumpish. in that sense.
You are, and you know.
Go ahead, Galen.
I hope you get treated for that. But the bottom line is,
Well,
Oh,
you said-
and you don't want to be
marijuana.
interrupted.
you said that marijuana is a gateway drug, and all I'm trying to do.
I said that every kid that I have treated over the past 11 years has used marijuana
How many of them drank
as a
milk?
gateway.
How many of them drank milk before they used
That's
used
not a
heroin?
fair
Well,
equation.
I'm
Why
sorry,
not?
Milk
but
could
when
be
we
an
do,
argument.
when we
Just
do a
drink
You
drug,
can't just do that.
So
How many of them
food.
smoke
No,
cigarettes?
What
when
he's
we
saying,
do-
hang on,
Smoke
hang on,
cigarettes.
Joe. What you're saying is they're making assumptions. You're talking about data.
I'm
Is
not
that
making
what-
assumptions.
No,
I'm
but
talking
I'm saying,
facts.
How many smoke cigarettes?
Anger doesn't cure
Cigarettes
anything.
is a problem.
Should we
Does
ban
not.
cigarettes?
Well, we
Should we
are,
put people
aren't
in
we?
prison for using
We're
cigarettes?
reducing cigarettes.
Come on,
you
man,
know,
no, we're not.
you know, you're saying.
Yes, we are.
You're
We need to
saying
work
things.
Banning cigarettes,
All
you're
right.
saying
You're
that?
saying
I've
things
not
that you
seen
can't
that
get.
All right,
legislation.
hang on, everybody, because we are got to go to commercial.
Wow.
Michelle, this is all your
It's all
thing. You
my
go ahead,
fault.
take it.
It's all my fault. Stay tuned, everybody. It's a really, really good show.
That orange thing.
You're watching Business Matters, because if it's business, it matters. Miss an episode of Business Matters? Catch up online. Go to www.wfmz.com/businessmatters to watch the most recent episodes. Now, back to Tony Iannelli.
Hey, we are back. Business Matters. We're talking about marijuana, medical marijuana as a whole. We brought in Wendy. We didn't give you the big introduction. Are you mad about that?
Hi.
All right. Well, there you go. We got Wendy. Go ahead, Wendy. You got a question? And it's our last segment. Fire away.
I have children, and my one thought of this is for medical use. I'm very for
good thing.
helping. It's a very good thing for helping people. If it took off. If you could have medical marijuana instead of the doctor writing out a prescription drug, and maybe that would eliminate more prescription drugs that are out there and people
Okay,
that
that's your one
overdose on that. The other concern is, being that I have children, if they're going to be able to purchase this legally, yes, if they don't have to go in the black market to get it, but it's legal, then I think of the addiction side.
I tell you that it's going to be a competition,
So
and
you're
people
on
are going to make it better than you can get something made at the store.
Correct.
And they're going to spray it down,
They
or
do
they're
it
going to do
now.
whatever. It's going to be a money maker. People
This
are going
is
to
a
always going to
medical
be.
product.
Always going to be.
This is a medical product, okay? We're not talking about recreational here. Right now, Pennsylvania is moving into
Do you
a new
agree
phase.
with
I heard
Dalen
our
that?
senator
Excuse
say
me,
he
one
wants to go
second.
to
Do you
recreation.
agree that with Dalen that he'd like to take it to the recreational level?
I'm not there right now, not at all.
Okay, you're a medical guy.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I want to open a dispensary in Pennsylvania. Okay?
For what? To
Pennsylvania
help
Cannabis,
people?
To help people
All right.
medically.
Okay.
Okay. The Compassionate Health Act was brought into play by a group of women that have situations that are beyond your belief. Their children are suffering with severe epileptic fits. They went to our state's capital. The children were flipping around on the floor like fish out of the water. They did it for a long time. They suffered. These children suffered. The only reason this law is enacted is because of the suffering that's been going on. Now is an opportunity for you to make a difference. We have to work together with our differences.
I want to know, what are the side effects?
Okay.
We're not interested in the side effects
I'm
as far as the
interested.
cure. Let's get
I'm
to that.
interested.
Let's get to that after we resolve our differences of opinion. Let's work together on this. We're helping children. You want to stop them from getting help? Or do you want to help us? Help each other?
I think if
I
kids
never wanna
need,
stop.
I
Joan,
think if
good.
kids
Joan.
need help,
Okay, go ahead.
I think that that's important. But why do you have to open 150 stores to do that?
All right, unfortunately,
Because
we're
there's
almost out of
not
time. It was a
many
great show.
people.
I got to go to parting thoughts.
Cannabis.com.
Pastor Rivera, you start us. Your parting thoughts, 15 seconds. Your parting thoughts.
PACAN.com.
I am so sad, and I am just thinking of the mothers and of the fathers and of the parents, the family, spouses that are going to be hurt by this. I'm thinking of all the people that are going to be drinking. I'm thinking of the college students that cannot concentrate after they start this. And thank you for the senator who was the #1 in his class, but that's not the way it rolls. That's not the way it happens.
Joan.
Thank you.
I'm afraid. You know, I mean, I stand and work on a regular basis with 5 women who have all lost children from the ages of 17 to 22 from overdoses. And they all started with marijuana. And I think it's going to be out of control, just the way Oxycontin and pain pills and all of that stuff became out of control. Everything becomes a street drug.
All right, Tim Charles.
Both you guys are missing the picture. What we're talking about here is medical marijuana in the state of Pennsylvania to help children, to help sick people that need it. Our organization, PA Cannabis, has a website, PACAN.com. On our website, we're a public service. We enhance people's education. We teach people.
Are you a for-profit organization?
Yes, we are.
Okay, go ahead.
What we're looking for is to educate people right now. We have made no money.
All right.
All of us are in it for the
All
money
right, Dalen Leach.
and the help as
Dalen
well.
Leach, close us out.
Okay, because of my involvement in the issue, I hear the stories. I mean, some of the most moving stories I've heard were from veterans. You just had veterans on
Yes.
a little while ago who came to me and said, I have post-traumatic stress disorder. I was on Klonopin, I was on Ativan, I felt like a zombie. I was self-medicating with alcohol, I was suicidal. I was a jarhead. I never smoked pot. Then someone convinced me to try it, and I have my life back. I feel like a human being again. And to me, passing this bill is the most important piece of social legislation in the last 30 years. It's my proudest moment. If I do nothing else the rest of my legislative life, I will have saved lives and
so
reduced
sad.
suffering, and I could not be more proud of doing that.
All right, hey, thanks so much for being with us. It was a great, great show. Wendy, you take us out and let's wrap it up.
Welcome back to our new season. See you next Monday at 7:30. Business Matters.